There's a quote by Malcolm Cole. He said, "The purpose of a brand is to represent your purpose." Right? Good day, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the On Purpose series. And here we're going to be having a conversation of how purpose relates to branding. And today I have here with me none other than Charles Ochulo. Charles Ochulo is a Nigerian brand strategist and public speaker. He's a principal consultant for the Abstract Brand Management and Consortium. Please, if you are not busy, give a round of applause to Dr. Charles Ochulo. Thank you very much, Dr. Charles, for honoring this. I really, really appreciate. Thank you very much. All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So just to get into this, just to start this conversation, right? The first question I'll ask is, how does purpose relate to brand identity? So how does purpose
Um,
relate to brand identity?
First of all, for you to have a brand identity, there must be an intention, and intention comes from that purpose. So the connectivity between purpose and brand identity is that's the gap. What is your intention? What is your purpose? That gives meaning to the identity. It is the 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 purpose that gives meaning to the identity. For instance, now, if you ask somebody after they created a brand identity, why did they use the colors that they used? Why did
Yeah.
they use the fonts that they used? It's the purpose that drives that. That's the purpose.
Yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much. I got what you said about intention and connectivity. I think that deeply resonates with me. So my next question is when finding purpose, we would sort of align with our non-negotiables. We would understand our non-negotiables and understand our values. So how does our values influence our purpose and our personal brand at the end of the day?
Your values define your character. Every brand has a character. If you look at the brands in the market, each of them has a character. The way they speak to you, the way they communicate, the language they use. So that differentiates one from the other. So values and purpose actually are the basis on which brands are built. But it still must be defined. It must be defined by the brand builder. That way, the audience can understand the communication emanating from the owner of the brand. So it affects the the it also affects uh, the brand hues, the colors, the it's actually the why of brand identity. Without that, you can't have a brand identity. It's the
Okay.
why,
It's
the
the
reason
why.
of entry, the reason for yes.
Yeah. There's a quote I don't know who said this precisely, but there's a quote that if you know the why, the how will be easy, right? And it just
Exactly.
sort of aligns with what you just said now. And this what you mentioned about brand character aligning with our values, that's what we project at the end of the day. Like it really, really matters. Um,
Mhm.
do you mind talking to us about your purpose journey, how you came to be, the brand strategist that you are? What were some questions you asked yourself that led you to, defining who you are and also implementing that in your branding as a person?
Okay. First of all, many years ago, I went to school in South Africa.
Okay.
Um, I was at the Wits Business School, and I was in a branding session. Um, I actually went there for business with my team um, to execute a project. And after the project was over, it was actually an induction for a brand, a global brand we're working with, where we presented their interest in Middle East and Africa. So I noticed that um, um, our sessions in school always ends by one. No, most of our sessions with the client. used to end by 1 p.m. every day. And I found myself doing nothing between 1 p.m. and the next day. So I decided, okay, well, here, why don't I pick up 1 or 2 free courses um, that will keep me busy between the hours of 1 and 4. So I went to their faculty, and coincidentally, they were having a refresher induction for new people. And I sat in that class, and I was very intrigued with what I was hearing and what I was seeing. And that made me decide to study, um, take up about 3 courses:
Yeah.
brand management, um, sorry,
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
brand
Yes.
management, brand management, product development, and then brand extension, product brand extension. That became my turning point in my career. So when I came back to Nigeria, I decided to transform my brand from being a general advertising brand to one that is specialized in core brand management and strategy. So that was my turning point, and I have not turned back ever since. I've just
Yeah.
continued on that journey. And
Yeah,
coming
that's
to my personal brand, in terms of my personal brand, I decided it's critical for me to define who I am, for people to understand who I am. So I put in some critical um, process in place that enabled me to find say, for instance, what drives me? What is my purpose? Am I driven by money or a higher calling that makes me want to create impossible brands? Or is it the monetary? Okay. And that's how my journey started. I defined that.
yeah. Speaking about a higher calling, right? A higher calling, I see it as legacy, I see it as making impact. So, like, how does your personal brand become like a vehicle for impact and leaving a legacy in your life and the next generation?
Once you have defined your purpose and your values, you leave them out with everyday living. It becomes the way of life.
Yeah.
So once it's been defined, it becomes a part of you that you live out every day through your interactions with people. Um, Apart from just discussions, um, interfaces, it guides also the type of friendships you maintain.
Mhm.
So once you define that, it's very easy to now, because the people around us affect us, whether we like it or
Yeah,
not. The people we
definitely.
interact with affect us. So I decided I will pick the people around me more carefully, more intentionally, and then ensure that their values align with my own values. So that has helped me.
Yeah. Yeah, even the our last episode, Joyce Daniels also our last speaker, Joyce Daniels, she also mentioned about picking the right people in your network. They
Yeah,
will also influence you at the end of the day. So, we evolve every day, like every time we're as humans, we're
yeah.
always evolving. And at the end of something, like it begins another new thing. So how do we like reinvent
Yes.
ourselves and also evolve with our personal brand, with our purpose at the end of the day?
I think it's based on how the market reacts. For me, I have my strategy is having a short, mid-term, and long-term. Somebody asked me a very later question recently. How have you stayed relevant in this over the years? How have you maintained relevance? And I say the key thing to stay relevant is evolving with the times. You one, keep on improving your knowledge, keep on
Mhm.
improving your what's the word I want to use now? Once you can improve your knowledge, keep on looking out for relationships that add value, mutual value, not one-sided value,
Yeah.
mutual. Look at minds, look for people that are hungry for knowledge,
Yeah.
and then use that to expand your circle. That has worked for me. And once you are hungry for knowledge, it attracts you to the right people and ensures that over time you keep on evolving with the trial or with the circle. Sorry,
Hmm. You mentioned
knowledge, hunger,
yeah.
and quest for knowledge.
Yeah, I think that's like very, very true. Hunger and quest for knowledge, keep evolving with the times, keep evolving at the end of the day. So as you mentioned, like we
Yeah.
have to, pursue knowledge. What book would you always advise like young people searching for who they are, or searching for how to, align their brand? What books or what podcasts, anything that you can, recommend like young people to look out for?
When you say young people, what's your definition of young people?
Everybody's
Nobody's
young
young
at
anymore.
heart. Everybody's actually
Aha.
young at heart. You're
Um,
young too.
um, I will not give you any author, but I'll recommend um, books from Warren Buffett,
Okay.
um, books from, I grew up reading books. Um, what's this gentleman that just books on life strategy, books on
Okay.
brand strategy, books on strategy itself. Um, there are a wide array of books out there on life,
Okay.
on spirituality, on transition, and branding and brand management. It helps. What it does is expand your scope of knowledge. Don't
Yeah.
limit your book reading to one sector. Make it a wide, um, give it a wide margin so that it can become all-rounded and focused about life and living itself. So expand your of your reading beyond one subject. Yeah,
Yeah. So guys, as you heard, have a wide variety of like things you listen to and things you consume. So as you
hmm
mentioned, you talked about transitions. as
yeah,
we as we evolve, we get to transition, be it like going from for a new job, moving to a new city,
hmm
moving
hmm
wherever. Like, how do we navigate transitions? Like, how do we, attach that or make that impact our purpose journey and our identity at the end of the day?
it's part of the transition process. And it starts with a mindset. The mindset that says I will evolve. I am evolving. I am on a journey. So once you have that positive mindset about the transition, it prepares you for the transition itself. It's a mindset. Some
Mhm.
people are closed up. They don't like change. I love change. Transition. So once
Yeah.
it's time for me to transit to the next level, I look forward to it. Every year, I go into my personal retreats where I ask myself some very few questions. Why am I transiting? Who would I need to transit on this journey? Who do I need to talk to? Young people should always have mentors that they talk to, mentors that have been on that journey before. So I've transited two different mentors over time that's helped me to navigate. So the mentor is critical for us to have them. The mindset is also critical. And if you are at a crossroads, the mentor helps you to navigate. So it's the mindset and having a mentor that helps in that transition. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And speaking of mentor, I've had the opportunity, guys, to, sit down with Dr. Charles, and he has advised me on certain things in life, in career, and all that. And I really appreciate that very much, sir. So, last question on this particular part of the episode is, what would you advise your younger self, or what do you always advise younger people to do? Like, first things first, in terms of purpose and branding.
Um, One, do it afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Do it afraid. A lot of times we are scared of change. We are always afraid of um, tomorrow or
Yeah.
that next step.
Yeah.
You don't have to put your leg in the water to confirm whether it's cold or not. Do it afraid. While you are in that state, you will confirm whether the water is hot or cold. So do it afraid. I always take risks. Many years ago, um, someone asked me a question. How did I navigate from point A to point C? And I said, most of the time, I have a jotter. I write the plans I have in my head, I jot them down, and then just keep on reading through them, going through, and then I just take a decision. Let me move, and I move. And it has always worked. I do things that way.
Well,
I
for
don't have to
me, my
confirm if it will work or not.
yeah,
Mhm.
very true. For me, mine, although yours is jotter, mine is like a journal. I also like document things and
Okay.
like see that it also works for me. Even the Bible
Yeah.
says for Christians that are here, write your vision, make it plain, write your goals down, and then it will guide you at the end of the day. So
Awesome.
we're on to the next section. Thank you very much, Dr. Charles. And this session is like the think fast. So when I ask you a question, you like answer like the first thing that comes to mind, or you just answer a very quick reply. So where is your favorite place to be in the world? It could be anywhere.
South Africa,
Oh, why?
Cape Town. The weather is beautiful.
Oh,
I like Cape
really?
Town.
So I've never been
Yeah.
there. That's nice to know.
Okay.
Another question is what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of fun? Like to have fun.
Driving. I
Oh,
love driving.
oh wow,
Yeah.
really?
Especially
That's
long
nice.
distance. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's nice. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Charles. I really appreciate this time that you have spent with us. Thank you for sharing your gift to the world. Guys, help me thank Dr. Charles. And at the end of this episode, I hope we have like things that we've jotted down that we're going to do, action plans that we're taking to improve our life, improve our personal brand, and as well as our purpose. You can connect with Dr. Charles on all social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you don't mind sharing, maybe you're working on something that you love the community to, connect with you on, if you don't mind sharing as well.
Right now, no.
Okay.
Apart from professional projects, they're just professional projects.
All
Nothing.
right. So, guys, connect with Dr. Charles on all social media platforms. His name is Dr. Charles Ochulo on all social media platforms. And I thank you guys for joining once again. So, there you have it. It's a wrap. Thank you so much, Dr. Charles. It's a wrap with our
Pleasure's
second
mine.
episode of the Unpurpose series. Until next time, thank you. Thank you very,
Awesome.
very much.